honoring the heroes of World War II.
Start firing and go crazy.
Our DC Bureau is live with the highlights from D-Day anniversary celebration. Showdown in Sunrise.
A lot of motivation, dedication.
Caplin News is live on the eve of the Cats' second straight appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals. The runway continues in Miami.
Those are definitely memorable moments.
With the VSL fashion show set to kick off today. And a successful launch.
What a wonderful place to be.
As Boeing makes history by landing its first Starliner at the International Space Station. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Ivan Ilewski.
I'm Montina Gaspari. Today is Friday, June 7th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
The duty of honoring heroes has President Biden on the other side of the Atlantic this morning. President Biden will return to Washington after ceremonies to recognize those who fought and died in the definitive battle of World War II.
Caplin News DC Bureau reporter Laura Palfrey is live at the World War II Memorial in Washington this morning with yesterday's anniversary. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Veterans, representatives from the United Nations, and guests gathered here to honor those who stormed the beaches of Normandy on June 6, 1944. Known as D-Day, this marked the beginning of the end of Nazi Germany.
Allison T. Bliss.
Dale H. Atwood.
Harold O.
The ceremony began at 5 o'clock in the morning with the reading of the names of the nearly 9,000 Americans memorialized at the Normandy American Cemetery in France. Those soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines gave their lives during Operation Overlord, which took place between June 6th and August 30th, 1944.
D-Day is the most famous day from World War II, and arguably it's the most important day, because it's when the Allies started to liberate northwestern Europe.
Storming the beaches of Normandy, Allied forces faced fierce resistance as they launched their historic invasion. 2 veterans of the Normandy invasion were present at the ceremony here in the nation's capital, sharing their personal stories of that fateful day.
There were some planes, and one was shot down, and another flew over the beach, and all the ships start firing and go crazy, and we wound up with 6 wounded that day.
Of the over 4,400 Allied troops killed on D-Day, 2,501 were Americans. Their immense sacrifice remains a solemn reminder of the profound impact of war.
Well, it's the anniversary of the day that the democracy was assured and brought forward. And as I indicated, pick it up in the new generations and bring it forward again so that we all retain our democracy and our freedom.
President Biden, along with several other world leaders and D-Day veterans, also celebrated this historic occasion in France. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Laura Palfrey.
In other big story this morning, finally the Stanley Cup Finals. For the second straight year, the Florida Panthers will compete for the Stanley Cup. This time, the Cats have the home ice advantage right here at home, and it all gets started tomorrow at the Emirates Bank Arena in Sunrise. That is where Caplin's Anthony Cruz is live with us with a morning preview. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning. A lot can truly change in just 1 year. For the Florida Panthers last year, they were a Cinderella story playing with house money. However, they know that once the puck drops for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals tomorrow, they are the favorites, and it's all business.
When fans at Sunrise heard the final horn in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Emirates Bank Arena started shaking. Though the players were celebrating, fans noticed it was a more composed reaction, since last summer everyone up and down the Panthers organization obsessed over the goal of redeeming last year's Finals loss. Forward Matthew Tkachuk credits his team's success to them being deeper, healthier, and more locked in to winning it all.
Just a lot of motivation, dedication, commitment. The right pieces were added, some great pieces added, and just one mindset of doing whatever I can to get back to it. And I thought the guys that were here last year have done an unbelievable job coming back for the start of camp with this on their minds.
Tkachuk is familiar with Connor McDavid and the electric offense of the Oilers from his time in Calgary, and the Panthers know they will need all hands on deck to stop it. Their front line, led by captain Alexander Barkov, has been swarming teams and taking them out of games. And anchoring it all down low has been Vezina Trophy finalist Sergei Bobrovsky, who has been the hero of many games throughout this run with his shocking staves. What is even more surprising to head coach Paul Maurice is how Bobrovsky keeps himself in tip-top form at 35 years old.
Some questions you don't want to ask because then you may have to form an opinion. I don't know when the first time I saw it, but I'm leaving the rink after the pregame and I'm heading home and I look down the hallway and he's Olympic lifting in the hallway. He's playing that night. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I don't need an opinion on that. And it's really important that sometimes you just shut up and keep your eyes closed, keep moving.
The Panthers' return to the Stanley Cup has been an incredible story for fans to watch unfold. However, Matthew Tkachuk speaks for the entire team when he says that they did not expect to be here and that the job is not finished. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Anthony Cruz. Back to you guys.
This morning, divers are keeping a closer look at suspected trash after a surprising find in the water. On Wednesday, scuba divers off the coast at Key Largo found 25 individually wrapped kilograms of suspected cocaine in roughly 100 feet of water. The package wrapping included a fake Nike logo. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office responded to the Rainbow Reef Dive Center in Key Largo and took possession of the suspected cocaine. Now, the drug is being analyzed by the U.S. Border Patrol.
In connection to the carjacking, kidnapping, and murder of a South Florida woman in April, 2 more men have been arrested and indicted. Prosecutors dropped a bombshell in court when they revealed 4 people were behind the kidnapping and killing. Jordanish Torres Garcia and Kevin Ocasio Justiniano are the alleged kidnappers. The latest arrest was Derek Alexis Rodriguez Bonilla, who is the man who provided the gun to murder Aguas Vivas.
Cleanup this morning after severe weather in the Orlando area. The worst of the damage from yesterday's storm was concentrated near an area called Castleberry. No injuries reported from the story, but the area around pumps at a gas station collapsed during the storm, damaging a car.
Ready the runway for the VSL Fashion Show, which will be held this evening right here in South Florida. Caplin News reporter Ana Paula Mayorga has more on what to expect.
A step behind the scenes of the VSL Fashion Show, where models, designers, photographers, and a magazine founder gather all together to plan and execute this glamorous event.
The VSL Fashion Show in Miami built a community that empowers the principle of collaboration over competition.
We are 2 directors in this project, and each of us has our own process and knowledge.
Their main goal is to influence fashion by being trendsetters and present diverse collections each season. The concept of the VSL Fashion Show was born from a shared passion and creativity.
I plan things ahead of time and actually seeing it come to fruition. The way we plan this fashion show, it come into fusion. The time that our magazine I've worked with, Radisson, Swiss Hotel, different celebrities. We even worked with Netflix celebrities. Those are definitely memorable moments.
Their process for selecting models and designers for the show involves seeking a diversity of styles and countries, with the aim to showcase different cultures and traditions. The VSL Fashion Show is going to take place for the very first time in the city of Miami, celebrating the artistry and diversity of fashion in this multicultural city.
Don't miss out on these beautiful collections by 5 designers from different backgrounds. The VSL Fashion Show will be held today in Brickell at 6:30 p.m. Reporting for Caplin News, I am Ana Paula Mayorga.
Netflix is being sued for more than $100 million by a woman who said one of its shows hits too close to home.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
We're just happy as can be to be up in space, one in Starliner, on an Atlas V, and then here on the International Space Station.
Starliner's success as a new private company gets into the business of delivering astronauts to the International Space Station. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
Docking despite difficulties, the Boeing Starliner crew now safely aboard the International Space Station. While Boeing's Starliner spacecraft successfully launched into space on Wednesday, this was not without its various issues.
And as Caplin's William Ayuri reports, multiple complications caused previous crew launch attempts to be canceled.
An incredible launch Wednesday morning for the Boeing team that has been a decade in the making. The Starliner taking off for its maiden crewed voyage with 2 astronauts on board.
Today's launch was definitely worth waiting for.
Veteran NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams' journey aboard the reusable Starliner capsule to the International Space Station will take just over 24 hours. The mission, known as Crew Flight Test, has been scrubbed twice before, most recently on Saturday due to a computer issue. The flight is historic in several ways. Williams is the first woman to fly aboard this type of mission.
The 6 human-rated spacecraft, and next year we should have our 7th human-rated spacecraft.
On board are supplies to make repairs to the space station, and the astronauts will be testing the Starliner's capabilities. Wednesday's success begins the final major milestone Boeing needs to be deemed ready for routine operations for NASA. In approximately 8 days, the astronauts will use the same capsule to return to Earth.
We're going to wait till the conditions are right and we've accomplished the test objectives before we do that.
Reporting for Caplin News, I'm William Ayuri.
Netflix is fighting a multi-million-dollar claim in connection with the global hit Baby Reindeer. The miniseries created by comedian Richard Gad recounts Gad's story of being stalked by a woman who bombarded him with more than 40,000 emails and hundreds of hours of voice messages. Fiona Harvey alleges she was defamed by the show. She is seeking $107 million in damages for mental anguish, loss of enjoyment of life, and loss of businesses. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak today. I'm Valentina Gaspari.
I'm Ivani Lewski. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.